Anu ascended to the throne, and under his rule, Nibiru began to recover. The gold continued to be mined from the hammered bracelet, and the planet's atmosphere slowly healed. The people, grateful for his leadership, accepted Anu as their rightful king. But Alalu, though defeated, was not finished. Far from the reach of Nibiru, he plotted his return. The Anunnaki, ancient and powerful, still watched over their people, and Alalu believed that one day he would call upon them to reclaim his throne. For now, however, the reign of Anu had begun, and Nibiru looked to the future, hoping that the worst of their troubles were behind them. But in the shadows, Alalu waited, biding his time, knowing that the struggle for the throne was far from over. Hammered bracelet and venture beyond it, arriving on the seventh planet known as Kai, Earth. Listen closely, people of Nibiru. I have discovered gold, abundant in this world. The vital element we seek to save our atmosphere is here, ready to be harvested. I, Alalu, have triumphed where many before me have perished. This gold will restore Nibiru and secure its future for generations to come. By the laws of heaven and the knowledge of the ancients, I lay claim to this discovery. Let it be known across all realms. The gold I have found is the key to Nibiru's survival, and I alone have the right to this achievement. I now send this message across the void, demanding recognition of my deed. I await your answer. And thus Alalu sat in his ship, alone on Earth, waiting for a response from his home planet, Nibiru. He had dared to defy the odds, and now the fate of his people rested on the promise of gold hidden within the veins of the planet Kai. Would Nibiru recognize his discovery and reinstate him as their savior, or would this be the beginning of a new struggle for power? The future was uncertain, but Alalu knew that he had unleashed a monumental shift in the destiny of the Anunnaki. The assembly paused as Enlil's words cut through the air. He continued, "First, Alalu claimed the discovery of salvation, and now Enki claims the heart of the earth. The Abzu holds the key to our survival. But I must ask, why does salvation always rest in the hands of those who have challenged the throne?" Enlil's eyes scanned the room, locking with each counselor in turn. Tension filled the hall as the old rivalries between Enlil and Enki came to the surface. Enki, calm and composed, responded, "Brother, this is not about rivalry or power. It is about survival. Survival of Nibiru, our people, and the generations to come. The Abzu holds the potential to supply the gold we desperately need." Anu, seated on his throne, watched the exchange closely. He had long known of the discord between his sons, but the stakes had never been higher. Nibiru's atmosphere was failing, and the gold they sought was not just a symbol of power, but a matter of life and death. Enlil, his tone sharp, replied, "And yet it is you, Enki, who stands to gain. You control the lands, you command the mission. If the Abzu is indeed rich with gold, who then will be hailed as the savior of Nibiru?" Enki remained calm. "It matters not who is hailed. What matters is that we survive. If my brother wishes to lead, I will step aside. But let it be clear, without the gold, there will be no Nibiru left to rule." The assembly murmured, torn between the logic of Enki's words and the fear of another power struggle. Anu raised his hand, silencing the room. "Enough," he said, his voice carrying the weight of 1,000 shars. "This is not the time for division. The gold of the Abzu must be extracted, and quickly. Enlil, you will oversee the operation. Enki will continue his explorations and ensure that the extraction is successful. You are brothers. Work together, or all will be lost." The words hung heavy in the air. Enlil and Enki exchanged a glance. There was no love between them, but they understood the gravity of the situation. "As you command, father," Enki said, bowing slightly. Enlil, however, stood stiff. "I will ensure the gold is brought to Nibiru," he said, his voice cold. The council dispersed, but the tension between the brothers lingered. Enki returned to Earth, determined to uncover the depths of the Abzu and secure the gold. Enlil, on the other hand, prepared to take command, driven by a mix of duty and ambition. Days turned into weeks as the Anunnaki worked tirelessly in the Abzu. The golden veins proved deeper than expected, and the process of extraction was grueling. The earth trembled as they dug deeper, awakening ancient forces within. One night, as Enki stood on the banks of the great river that cut through the Abzu, he looked to the stars and wondered if this would truly save Nibiru. His thoughts were interrupted by a sudden disturbance in the waters. He watched as the river's current changed, swirling unnaturally. From the depths emerged a massive figure, its form shimmering with otherworldly energy. Enki, ever the scholar, stepped forward, recognizing the figure from ancient texts. It was a being from the primordial waters, a guardian of the deep. The being spoke, its voice resonating in Enki's mind. "You seek the gold of Tiamat, yet you know not the price it carries." Enki, unfazed, responded, "The gold is our salvation. Without it, my people will perish." The figure's eyes glowed. "Salvation for your kind, perhaps, but at what cost to this world?" "The veins of gold are not merely resources. They are the lifeblood of the earth. Disturb them, and you disturb the balance." Enki paused. He had always known that great power came with great risk, but this warning struck deeper than he had anticipated. "What must be done to preserve this balance?" he asked. The figure receded slightly into the water. "Take only what is needed, no more, and respect the forces that dwell here. You may extract the gold, but the earth must not be destroyed in the process." With that, the figure vanished into the depths. Enki stood there, pondering the weight of the task ahead. He knew he had to tread carefully, not just for Nibiru's sake, but for Earth's as well. Back on Nibiru, the council awaited the next shipment of gold. Anu, though pleased with the progress, sensed that the conflict between his sons had only just begun. Enlil, now in charge of the operation, grew more frustrated with each passing day, watching as Enki's influence grew among the Anunnaki on Earth. The stage was set for a greater confrontation, one that would decide not only the future of Nibiru, but also the fate of the two brothers and perhaps the fate of Earth itself.